Hello, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Today, I got a good one for you. Now, I know a lot of the people that watch this channel love sending damage directly at the opponent's face, going straight for the throat, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing in this video, but we're going to be doing it in a slightly different manner than normal. Uh, when you think about red deck wins or Boros burn these days in standard, I think you think more of a creature-based strategy, repetitive damage sources that are on the field. Well, got me thinking, can we do the same thing but with a spell-based strategy? Let me know down in the comments, what do you think is going to happen in this video? A little bit of a prediction. Do you think this deck is going to hold up and do as well or better or worse than a creature-based strategy? While you're down there, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and of course, like the video because that's the easiest thing to do. So what are we doing with this deck? Well, we got a lot of spells. We are playing things like Boltwave, 3 damage to the face. Burst Lightning can be 4 damage, but most of the time it's going to be 2. We got our Lightning Helix, 3 damage to any target. Boros Charm, 4 damage to the opponent or a Planeswalker, but it's almost always going to be to a opponent. It does have some other modes, but I think we're going to be leaning into that 4 damage more often than not. And Lightning Strike. So a lot of instants and sorceries that are going to be doing direct damage to any target, but mostly our opponent. Then we've really limited the creatures. We got a couple of great 1 CMC creatures. One of my favorites, Burnout Bashtronaut. This thing has menace, 1/1, and it can get up to a double striking menace creature if we get to max speed. Then we can dump a whole bunch of mana into it to pump it up if we get to that point in the game. And this card seems to work really well with Hired Claw. I talked to the Nostalgic Necro a little bit about this one, and he theorized that the Hired Claw would be a great addition to a Burnout Bashtronaut deck because, well, the Hired Claw can attack. That 1 damage ping is going to maybe hit our max speed, and then our Bastronaut will get double strike on that turn. Then in the 2 slot, we are only playing a single creature. We have gotten rid of the mice. We are just playing 4 copies of Slickshot Show-Off. This is going to be a great card to just throw onto the field against creatures decks that have very little interaction, creature-based strategies like the mono green decks. Or if we need to, we plot it until we see an opening and then we send it out so we can pump it up with all of our instants and sorceries and really do a lot of extra damage. And then on the top end, Nova Hellkite can be warped in for 3, deals 4 damage to the opponent with haste, and then we can just play it out for 5 as a big beat stick late game. So that is the deck. That's the strategy. We're going to try it out. Hopefully it goes well, and that's all I can say. See you over the games. Game number 1, we are playing some more traditional styled burn in standard, and when I say that, of course I get 3 creatures right off the bat. But you know what, this looks like a good curve, 1 2 3, and if we start finding a few sorceries and instances, well, maybe we can really make something happen. Let's see what Cassis 6666 is all about. They're playing green, so now we have a choice. Do we take out the Llanowar Elf or do we Slickshot Show-Off? And it's such a tricky spot. It's almost always burn the Elf. But you know what? I think because we're playing this style of deck, I think it's actually attack face. We're going to try to get our opponent down as low or as low as possible, as quickly as possible. There is a little bit of a better target for our Burst Lightning, and we get maybe a little bit punished here by not doing things in a different manner. Now, I can take out the Badger Mole Cub with the Burst Lightning nice and clean, or I can put out the Nova Hellkite. What I think I'm actually going to do is attack in, as crazy as this might sound. They don't do anything. Well, okay. I kind of expected them to block with the Leyline Weaver on the Slickshot Show-Off. We would pump the Badger Mole Cub and then hopefully hit the Leyline Weaver with the Slickshot Show-Off, leaving them with just 3 mana. But we are still in Ouroboride range now, so let's see if I get punished for my greed on turn 2, putting out the Slickshot. They are down to 12 life. There's a Breakout. Breakout's not as threatening as other things. And yeah, I should have pumped the Burnout Bashtronaut. Now I'm looking at that because I knew I was going to use the 2 damage, 1 damage on the Badger Mole Cup and leave 2 mana up. My mistake. Early morning woes, always those things. Now, it's kind of looking like maybe the opponent has drawn their mana dork side of the deck, and if we get a little bit of a opportunity here, I think we can make something happen. They are shields down. The Leyline Weaver is tapped. Ooh, the Lightning Helix is good. I would have preferred a 1 CMC spell, so I think what we're just going to do is nice and simple. Warp out the Nova Hellkite, smoke one of these Land of War Elves, because it just gets it off the field. Gone. We don't have to worry about it anymore. I could go with the Burnout Bashtronaut as well. And you know what? I kind of think it's not such a big deal. If they end up putting a double blocker in front of it, I'm kind of happy getting rid of one of these bodies that's on the field. I'm really afraid of an Ouroboride hitting. But we're at 20 life. They just have 6 mana, kind of 6 mana, 5 mana on the field, because this thing needs something to tap. So they're going to need to find something pretty huge here. They could leave the Leyline Weaver untapped on following turns, which could make things a little bit awkward for us. But we do have the Lightning Helix. Okay, there's the Archdruid's Charm. That means Ouroboride. No. What? Doesn't that go get anything? Search a library for a creature card or a land card. Reveal it, put it onto the battlefield tapped if it's a land. Otherwise, put it into your hand. Interesting strategy by the opponent. There's the Leyline Weaver. And we did it. Through the opponent's greed, I suppose, we were able to get there. We could give, you know what, we're going to do that. We're going to give Slickshot Show-Off Double Strike, because that's a lot more fun than just dealing 4 damage to the face. And amazing. Through that opponent's start, through my little, it was a slight blunder with the Bastronaut not pumping it up. I guess it didn't really matter in the end, but hey, good opening, taking down a Badger Mole Cub. I'm excited already. Okay, next one. Bragus is up next. I think I drank a little bit too much coffee first thing this morning. I feel a little jittery, I'll be perfectly honest. All right, this time around, we do have our spell side of our deck, and we have our Slickshot Show-Off to take advantage of that stuff. But unfortunately, our opponent on Blooming Marsh kind of means that they probably have removal for our... What? Tomberry. This creature enters tapped with a stun counter on it. During your turn, this creature has first strike and double strike, or death strike. Wow, I love it. We drew the Hired Claw, which is a fantastic turn 1 draw. Much better than throwing off the Bolt Wave. I didn't want to put this out right away. I'd rather have the Slickshot Show-Off on the field to get a little bit of extra value. You know, if you start thinking about the Slickshot Show-Off pumping, getting pumped with the Bolt Wave, you know, these things are like 5 damage, 6 damage, 5 damage. That's something you can't really ignore. Now, the opponent had a bite down with the Tomberry. This is intense stuff from the opponent. They were able to take out my Hired Claw very efficiently. We have to assume that they might have another bite down for future situations. Oh no, what is going on? Okay, we're against an Infect deck, I guess, maybe? This is incredible. So all of these Death Touchers, and 2 of them have reach. I don't want to use my removal on that, but I kind of think I might have to at some point. That's actually kind of a bad situation for me. All right, let's hold up the Lightning Helix. I don't know what I'm going to end up doing with that Lightning Helix, but if they swing out, maybe I let the Cecil do a little bit of damage, take them down a little bit lower, and then we eventually remove it. And the Preacher of the Schism is actually going to be a massive problem for me, because this thing is going to start gaining them some card advantage, right? So whenever this creature attacks, the player with the most life or tied, create a 1/1. Whenever this creature attacks while you have the most life or are tied, draw a card. Okay, I don't care about the Tomberry, and the Cecil, of course, is going to be getting in. So this just happens. And now I don't really know what I want to do here. I'm kind of okay leaving the Cecil alive for a little bit longer, but these are such a problem for me. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Okay, we'll throw out the Mountain. We do have all of our mana up for both of these spells now. I can't really attack in because this Preacher of the Schism is going to get frisky and block, but I suppose I could attack, and if they end up, I think this is what I have to do. I have to attack in. It has Menace, so if they blocked with one of these creatures, I could have gotten a little bit of value there. They didn't block. They just take the 1 damage instead. Okay, Ooh, okay. This is just such a weird matchup, and we are not set up for it. They draw a Tomberry. Okay. That means this turn they're going to be drawing one extra card off the Preacher of the Schism. They swing as expected down to 16. They're going to go down to 14. I think what I need to do is I need to look for an opportunity where I can get them low enough with the Cecil and then one turn kill them with the Slickshot Show-Off. But they're drawing so well with these Fate Weaver. These Fate Weavers are actually the biggest problem for me. So now is the next... Maybe we have to think about this a little bit differently. We have potentially 10 damage in hand. They're going to do... It's not enough damage, is it? And I got to make sure I don't die. So I'm at 10 life. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay. So I think what I do is I attack with the Bashtronaut again. This is going to take them down to 13. I'm actually going to get there. This is going to be fun. I'm going to put out the Slickshot Show-Off as a chump blocker. And I'm going to put the Inspiring Vantage on the field. So they're at 13. They're going to attack with both of these. They're going to go down to 10. Oh no. Oh no. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We can't... Oh no, the plan has changed so much. This fin was huge. Okay, so they're going to draw here. And they're going to flip the Cecil, which is fine. We don't care about that. But what we do care about is this fin killing us. So I need the fin gone, right? Or I could... 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I can't let them all hit me. This thing's going to hit me there. Unfortunately, I have to put this on the fin. Okay. And is there any reason to leaving this creature back? I think there's not. So I put it in front of the Cecil. The Cecil's going to die. They're going to go down to 10. If I draw... Okay. Plans have changed with that fin. That fin was huge. Okay, they still take 2 damage. I just need a good draw. Okay, we're going to put this on the opponent's face. Please be something good. We're down to 2 life. It all comes down to this draw. Lightning Helix. I'm at 2 life. What am I saying? Of course, we got it. We got it. We just barely got it. We actually had it in 2 different ways. We could have attacked with the Bashtronaut as well. What a tight game. I don't know. I think I went into a bit of a trance with that one, and I was just kind of stunned by the fact that my opponent was putting out a board of reach creatures with Death Touch against my singular poor Slickshot Show-Off. But he did his job, I suppose. Kind of, he didn't really do anything. But there you go. You can see the power of direct damage. And yeah, it can still get there. Also helped that the opponent took some damage on their own. Thank you, Cecil. Okay, let's not run into any more of this reach Death Touch nonsense. Who's playing that? Okay, opening hand, you like it. So you have your Burst Lightning as a contingency against Badger Mole Cubs, just in case they put something out that we need to get rid of right away. And then, if not, we just hold it in hand. We plot the Slickshot Show-Off, I suppose, against Azorius. I think it's probably better to do that. It might get hit by a get lost otherwise. And I think I'm fine putting out the Nova Hellkite. They could use No More Lies. Okay, No More Lies to get rid of it, but we're going to have to go through that eventually. I still don't think I'm in a good... I don't think putting out the Slickshot Show-Off for just 1 point of damage is going to be good enough here. Ooh, another Slickshot. You know what? Let's plot that. And then just kind of wait a little bit. If they start using their mana to draw, like if they use this to stock up, they could be in pretty bad shape. They're not going to have infinite removal spells or counter spells, so let's make them go through them with the Nova Hellkite. Another No More Lies. Sure. And now we're just, I guess we're just gonna sit here and wait for our opening. Don't you love playing against hard control where you just, where they have every single answer for your stuff? All right. Maybe I should have put out the Slickshot Show-Offs. I don't know. Do you actually run them out against this opponent when they are countering your poor Nova Hellkites? It's a little bit of a shame, too, that they're using No More Lies. Well, I mean, I guess it was going to get countered no matter what, so it wasn't going to be warped in. They did not hit their land, so because they missed a land drop, that means that they're sitting on 7/6 interaction cards. Ouch. Ouch. Absolutely devastating. Okay, I think this is, yeah, so now you just run them out. They're going to gain a couple points of life. It's fine. If they end up having, well, okay, do you just put out one and force them to have, I don't want to get 2 for 1. So I think I'm going to put 1 on the field. If they want to use Day of Judgment on it, they can use Day of Judgment on it. Instead, they use Get Lost, the card that was predicted at the start of the game. So No More Lies, Get Lost. Very fun opponent. I actually kind of want to go up against the I want to go up against the Death Touch opponent. That was so much more fun than this. No, Authority of the Console is also just absolutely shutting down our plan for using Slickshot, but we're gonna run it out just so I can crack these maps, or at least try to crack the maps. They might have another Get Lost and deny our map here. I don't think Higher Claw is going to be good enough. Interesting that they let that through. So it's possible that they don't have anything. So do we keep this? I think we kind of need direct damage. So this actually kind of represents 4 damage because of the amount of mana that we have. But it's not, I don't know if it's good enough. I'm going to try. Okay, let's see what happens to old Slickshot here. Maybe they're just waiting 1 turn to deal with it. Day of Judgment, very fun. Okie dokie. So because we have so much mana, I suppose we load up this Burst Lightning. If they want to No More Lies it again. Okay. Well, sometimes you run into your opponents having exactly what they need, and now we have a pitiful amount of damage. They did not take any damage themselves. They did not use any like shock lands in the early game to have to hold up mana. Very fortunate for them. And now I think we're gonna see one more draw, but I actually don't want to sit through this. It's so annoying. Is this their win con? Is it just a Restless Anchorage win con? That's not bad. Let's see what kind of interaction they have. Eventually they're gonna have hard counters. Man, it kind of makes me want to stay in it. They are at 12. They don't have any life gain outside of the Authority of the Consoles. As long as we don't play any creatures into the Authority of the Consoles, we might be okay. And, okay, they load up the Restless Anchorage. They have a 10-turn clock. Okay, go for it. Smack me down. I guess they increased the clock a little bit. I could put the damage on the Restless Anchorage, but I think we don't win that way. We have to hope that their hand is full of other Day of Judgments or... Oh. Okay, Burst Lightning is kind of fine. Their mana is a little bit stretched here. They have 3. They could have... not Saw It Coming. What is it? It used to be called Saw It Coming. 3 Steps Ahead. That's what it's called. Okay, so they do counter it. In that case, let's put 4 damage up top. And they're down to 8. Okay. Oh man, I don't want to stay in this because you know, 5 cards to 1 card in hand. But the thing is, if they're out of counter spells and we draw, unfortunately this is not a Boros Charm. They leave the Get Lost on top. That's interesting. So Nova Hellkite is just a dead card in this matchup. Such a shame. Okay. There's literally no reason to put it onto the field. This is spend 5, spend 5, heal your opponent 1. That's all that's doing. And their clock is getting a little bit faster. This Restless Anchorage is actually doing a lot of work thanks to these map tokens hitting non-lands by the opponent. Very, very fortunate for the opponent. Okay, another land drop, and we are toast. So I think from this point, We're going to see if they have interaction. If they counter this, it's absolutely over. Yeah, negate. So the opponent just had our number. That they had the deck that was set up for us, and we're not going to suffer through it anymore. There was a little glimmer of hope there. I shouldn't have bothered, though. I should know better against Azoria's control. Thinking back on that last game, I think I should have definitely run out the Slickshot Show-Offs when I had 2 of them instead of holding 2 of them plotted, and just tried to put that early pressure on the opponent. Even if I did go into a Day of Judgment, I knew what I was signing up for in that game, and I think I had to put out that early pressure right away. Opening hand, we have our spells, and we have a Nova Hellkite. Last game, the Nova Hellkite was absolutely neutered. Hopefully this game, not going to be a repeat of that. However, we are against a Dimir land. Blue-black from the opponent, A. Johnson. Yeah, I like the name. Town Greeter. Hey, we haven't seen Kavaro for quite some time. I feel like people took a break from old Kavaro. I was gonna call him something different. Okay, I suppose I attack in. You know what? Do we use the Burst Lightning to? No. It doesn't make sense to use Burst Lightning here. They're gonna chump block. It's gonna be 1 damage. So we could use 2 damage on the Town Greeter and get in 1 extra point of damage, or they just trade off the Town Greeter and we set up for a higher claw on the following turn to be doing a little bit more damage. So using the Burst Lightning there would have just been foolish. If they have, of course they bin that right away, because that's what these decks do. It's like, it's so automatic for these decks. And they find their Bookworm. Oh, they don't grab the Bookworm. They wouldn't have been able to play it out anyways because they used the cash grab this turn. So we could just be dead. But I guess this is the most damage that I can do. It's 7 points of damage on the opponent's face. And we do have a good amount of damage in hand. But we know they have the 4th land. If they have the Kavaro, they bring back a nice board. And I don't think I can beat that board. But there's always a chance that they don't have the Kavaro, right? That is always possible. And if we get 1 more turn, maybe I can squeak out something here. I really need this higher claw to get in for another 3+1 points of damage. All right, last 2 games going more favorably for our opponents than for us. That's a little bit of a shame that that's the way it's been going. What are you going to do when you're playing Mono Red or Boros Burn against a turn 4 Kavaro on the play? And they gain life with the Town Greeter. All right, we're good. I surrender. A. Johnson, you got me. Oh, I'm really glad I had those last 2 games. Azoria's Control into Kavaro. The first 2 games, I was actually having a little bit of fun playing Best of 1 Standard. And, I had to be dragged back down, be reminded that Standard is not about fun. We don't have fun around here. We just play degenerate combo decks. All right. So we are against Badger Mole Cub again, and if they have the turn 2 Badger Mole Cub, as every opponent seems to have, we are in trouble. We did not have the turn 1 way of stopping this, and now if they tap the Gene Pollinator to put out a second Badger Mole Cub, is just GG probably. We can kill, of course, the Badger Mole Cub with the Lightning Helix on the following turn, but we are so far behind. Ooh, Paw Patch. Paw Patch is good. It's good. Let's attack. If they want to give me the Paw Patch for the higher claw all day long. No. Of course you don't. Well, I suppose when you see a Badger Mole Cub on the field, you have to hit it, right? So instead of them having 5 mana next turn, they're going to have 3, potentially 4 with the land drop. They're deciding where to put this very valuable +1/+1. Gene Pollinator, I don't know. I think I put it probably on the Paw Patch. It has Trample. Gene Pollinator is one of those creatures that's likely going to be tapped down. So I don't know about that. But here comes the Ouroboride. Yeah, buddy. And now we are on a clock. Are we dead next turn? So next turn, we're going to get hit for 5, 9, 14, 18 damage. I have to kill them next turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put out the Slickshot Show-Off. I am going to attack in for 1 because I'm not going to block with the Slickshot Show-Off. Slickshot Show-Off is my only way to win. Next turn, we need an untapped white source. Without an untapped white source, I lose this game. With an untapped white source, I maybe win. This is not lethal damage, so we don't block with the higher claw because that 1 point of damage from the higher claw could matter. And it's not an untapped white source, but it is pretty good. So this is going to be 4, 6, 7, 8 damage. Not enough damage. What if I put this is double strike, 10. Is that enough? We're going to go for it because we're dead no matter what, right? They don't have reach, do they? Look at that. The hired claw not attacking the opponent's face actually made the difference, and we have exact lethal. Never didn't have it. Yip. Come on, DeCoste. Don't salty rope me here. Bro. All right. Let's look at this. Look at this. In one of my previous videos, I talked about intentionally roping, and I actually made an excuse for opponents saying, hey, sometimes, you know, they just go to the bathroom or they go to get a drink. They don't know what's going on. This was 100% an intentional salty rope because they emoted right as I was attacking for lethal, and they're just like, yeah, I'm going to purposely rope. That, good for you, my friend. That was a delightful game all through and through. The opponent went first. The opponent had an awesome draw. The turn 1 Gene Pollinator into turn 2 Badger Mole Cub. They popped off with the Ouroboride, but you see that Slickshot Show-Off getting double strike. That's why we play Boros Charm. So what's worse, getting turn 4 Kavaroed or getting double striked with a Slickshot Show-Off? I don't know. All right, hey. Depending on what we are up against, these Slickshot Show-Offs could run straight to the field. We could also just end up plotting them. Why does the opponent have 55 cards? They're playing a 62 card special? I don't often notice how many cards are in the opponent's deck, but for some reason, this time around, 55, 7 in hand, 55 in deck. Interesting. Who am I to say that the 61 or 62 card special isn't actually the way to go? There might be some secret sauce to all that. Ooh, the opponent. All right. We're doing this again. So since this is the case, since we went first, the opponent, you can gain your 1 life from the authority of the consoles. I'm putting it to the opponent to have the Get Lost. If they don't have Get Losts, then we're going to put as much damage as we possibly can on the opponent's face. Johnny, do you have it? No. Oh, okay, hold up. This is not Azorius Control. This is something different. This is much worse. So they could have the Star Cage Pinnacle. And in the case of having a Star Cage Pinnacle, do I play it slowly or do I just go for it? They're going to need another white source. We're attacking, of course. Let's say I attack with the Lightning Strike this time around. I deal an extra 5 points of damage here. No. It's just not going to be good enough. So we're going to put this in tapped, and I think, against my better judgment, I'm going to put out a second Slickshot Show-Off, and I'm going to emote. I'm going to wink at them. And I'm going to say, do you have the Star Cage Pinnacle, my opponent? Oh, there's the white source. That's a Braided Net. Okay, Braided Net, good. But we do still get in for a good amount of damage here. So does the Braided Net indicate that they actually don't have a Star Cage Pinnacle? In which case, should I just put the Bashtronaut on the field? Should I have put the Bashtronaut on the field before I attacked? Yes, absolutely. However, I do have 7 points of damage in hand. So maybe healing them a little bit more is not... You know what? It's not the end of the world. Them going up to 10 is not the end of the world because I have 7. Most of my spells do 3 points of damage. So them being at 10, not a big deal. I guess if I draw Burst Lightning, the 9 would have been a lot better. But I think the advantage of having the Burnout Bashtronaut on the field is actually going to be a little bit bigger. That Plains could still indicate... No, they put out the Vault this turn. So they don't have the Star Cage for this turn. They have the Braided Net. They can tap down one of our poor Slickshots. They could have a Saw Blade, but they would take 1 point of damage with a Saw Blade. So it looks like they're going to stun something. So I think we're going to go for the win this turn. Probably we're going to see the Cryogen Relic cracked on the Slickshot Show-Off that is attacking in right now. They have the Saw Blade. So they did take 1 point of damage from it, though. Okay. So is it better to put damage on the opponent with our creatures instead of these things? So this is 7. I can do... I mean, that's happening. I may as well put a +1/+1 counter on the higher claw. And then this is 7. So they're in lethal range. They do gain life in this deck, though. So do I want to just put 1 more point of damage with the Burnout Bashtronaut, save this mana? I think I do. They don't have counter spells. I'm just really worried about a Clayfire Bricks on the next turn. Clayfire Bricks means they go up to 8. 8 is annoying for us. But there's a United Battlefront, so as long as it's not Clayfire Bricks, we're okay. They're probably going to think... Clayfire Bricks. And, okay... I guess you take the higher claw here. That Clayfire Bricks is absolutely massive for the opponent. They don't even know it. They do know it. Of course they know it. Okay. Lightning Helix is good. So they still get 1 more tap down on our Slickshot Show-Off. But they're dead, actually. Well, I don't know why I thought it was so huge. We still have exact lethal, right? Boom. And we had it the whole time. Why was I was miscounting something, I suppose. So wow, what a close game. Burnout Bashtronaut being the hero that he was meant to be. I love the Burnout Bashtronaut. And I think we got a little bit lucky that they didn't run into the board wipe. That would have slowed things down a little bit too much. And I hate to say it, but I think we kind of saw the importance of having repetitive creature-based damage on the field in this game, because that was what made the difference. If they had 1 or 2 more turns, we might have been in trouble. These are really good for closing out the game, but you really need to have that early game stuff on the field, hitting the opponent every single turn after turn 2. Okay, our 7th and final game. Let's see if we can end on a good note. So far, the deck has been playing quite well, and I'll be perfectly honest, I like this style of play a lot more than the other styles of play that Burn kind of finds itself playing these days. What? I don't know what a turn 1 run out a Mockingbird means. I'm not going to throw out the Boltwave because I think with the Slickshot Show-Off, probably it's going to be more valuable just to hold it. If we're against Mono Blue Tempo, we might actually be in a little bit of trouble here. And since that seems to be the case, I'm going to plot the Slickshot Show-Off. Just leave it over there. There's our Flood Pitch Drowner. We kind of have to assume that they're going to have more Flood Pitch Drowner, maybe Tishana's Tidebinder. Tishana's Tidebinder doesn't really do anything against our Slickshot, but I don't know why I didn't put out the Sacred Founder. I guess it doesn't matter there. They're going to have it, right? In this case, I think I'm going to throw the Boltwave. Let's get a little information. Let's see if they have some way of countering it. Nope. Okay. It's sorcery speed, so it loses a lot of value. There's the Tishana's Tidebinder as expected. So we are getting hit for 6. I can't put it on the field. They did it in end step. Let me put you on the field. I'm really afraid of them having interaction. If they put out the cat right now, I think I'd be okay with that. They don't put out the cat. Okay, we're going to have to make our move. I don't think I can sit here waiting for them to go mana, like shields down. They have 6. Why would they go shields down in this situation? So because that's the case, I think I have to run out the Slickshot Show-Off now. They don't have the Mockingbird as a blocker. They do have the Soulstone Sanctuary as another bit of damage over there. Shoot. Could I have killed... I could have killed the Mockingbird and made that a little bit cheaper. But I think it's okay to just pay the 4. Double Dazzling. That poor Slickshot was never hitting the field. And now we are down to 4. We have not enough mana to do anything. We have a lot of damage, but it's not quite enough. We're not going to be able to stay alive. If I use the Burst Lightning on the Tishana, though, or if I can... There's no way I can put that out untapped. I do have the Lightning Helix as well to maybe squeak out a little bit of life. Let's see what they do. Let's see if we can just stay alive. Enduring Curiosity. So that's a lot of damage. Let's put this up top right now. The problem is that they're going to probably draw... that hurts. Oh, I guess we're just dead. Right? Yeah, we're still dead. We're dead. I was going to say they were going to probably draw a counter spell, but I don't know if I could have played that any differently. Yeah, mono blue tempo. Probably pretty good against us because they can just keep holding up their mana. And yeah, us not being able to run out the quick Slick Shot. Maybe I should have put it out on turn 2, but I was too much of a coward. They had mana up, I think, right? Alright, so a nice quick set of games with Boros deck wins is what I'm calling this one, and I think it plays just fine. I actually love this playstyle. I would rather be flinging spells at the opponent's face than building a wide board of creatures. I didn't really miss our... Not Manifold Mouse. What is the mouse called? I already forgot the poor mouse's name because I didn't matter. I don't miss him. Emberheart Challenger. I think Emberheart Challenger is really good, but in a deck like this where you are not targeting the Emberheart Challenger to get benefits out of the Valiant, then it doesn't really matter. And I didn't really want to dilute my deck by playing the mouse land, whatever that land is called, because I find the Rockface Village ends up getting in my way more often than it doesn't. Now, I think what this deck could maybe benefit from is a Soulstone Sanctuary or 2, just to help with the flooding. That being said, a lot of times when you are playing Boros Charm and Lightning Helix, you find yourself really stretched on mana because you have to have the exact mana sources. So having colorless or generic mana is actually quite a hindrance when I play these kinds of burn decks. The one card that felt very lukewarm for me, which is a little bit surprising, is the Nova Hellkite. Now, I don't think the Nova Hellkite is necessarily bad in this deck. It's just I think these particular matchups didn't allow it to shine. 3 mana to deal 4 damage to the opponent, and then if you can snipe something with its ability when it enters the battlefield, it's just gravy. I think paying 3 for 4 damage is probably enough, especially since it gives you the option to have that same effect for 5 mana later on in the game if you get to that point. However, I think you could definitely make the argument that this is a weak card in the deck and maybe something else. The deck could maybe benefit from something else, and I don't know what that thing would be, but yeah, I'm not sure about Nova Hellkite right now. Slickshot Show-Off, fantastic, except when they have the Authority of the Consuls on the field, and then I think our one slot being the Bashtronaut and the Higher Claw is probably where this deck shines. So let me know what you think about the spell-based strategy of the burn deck, going back to a more traditional way of playing burn. I like it. I think we need maybe just 1 or 2 more pieces for the deck to really start shining. It's definitely not going to be a top tier thing, but it is definitely a way to play this deck if you were one of those people that had red deck wins before our poor Screaming Nemesis got banned. You can still play this style of deck if you have the cards and you want to play this way. Anyways, that's it for this one. Let me know what you think about the deck. Have a good day. Sarang e ipana, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.